channel. Now we take another discussion SS600. SS600 using the work of the another auditor. We are use the work of the another auditor. Okay. There is principal auditor and component auditor. Principal auditor is the auditor who is audited a head office. For example, if any entity which have many more divisions, many more branches, many more subsidiaries, then as an principal auditor, we do the audit of the entity, not all the branches, not all subsidiaries, not all divisions. So we use the work of the auditor of that subsidiary, auditor of that branch, auditor of that division. So the auditor of the subsidiary branch or division is called as the component auditor. Okay, so we principal auditor use the work of the component auditor. Okay, here what is the procedure which is adopted by the principal auditor? Okay, as in principal auditor, we can firstly we see the competence of the auditor of the branch or auditor of the subsidiary. If the auditor is the member of the institute, that is member of the Chartered Accountant of India, Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, then it's okay. But if he is not the member of ICAI, then you should check the competence of that person. Okay. You know what Companies Act also says about the company's auditor, which should be report on the work of the branch auditor. 143 subsection 3 reporting, where 143 subsection 8 branch auditor do the audit, and where the principal auditor is not the auditor of the branch, so that the principal auditor report the branch accounts in 143 subsection 3. Okay, so whatever the procedure we apply here, as an auditor we can take a questionnaire from the branch auditor. We can see the procedures which is adopted by the branch auditor, or we can visit the branch, we can visit the subsidiary. Visit is not our obligation, it is not our duty, it's our right. We can visit the branch, okay, and we can test check some books of we can inspect some books of accounts, and we can take supplementary test, that is test check some procedures, what the result is, what is result from that supplement procedure, what is the actual result. We can rely on the work of the division auditor or not, because if we apply such procedure, if there is a result which is same as the result of the, or as the conclusion of the that division's auditor, then we can rely on the work of the division auditor, okay, or component auditor. Okay, so you can supplement test check, or you can fill up the questionnaire, visit questionnaire. And finally, one more point I discuss here: if there is a subsidiary which is a foreign subsidiary or foreign branch, then it is very much important we apply this procedure. The importance of this procedure is increases, because the auditor of the subsidiary foreign company, foreign subsidiary, is not the member of our institute, so he is not competent enough as our opinion. So we should apply this procedure here. Okay, this procedure's importance is increase in this type of subsidiaries. Okay, so this all is the provisions about the principal auditor applied here. As in principal auditor and branch component auditor, principal auditor and component auditor should coordinate. Okay, so if there is a coordination between the principal auditor and the branch auditor, so as a principal auditor, we as the component auditor, if we know about the context in which our work is used by the principal auditor, we are the component auditor, and if we know about that in which context the principal auditor use our work, so that we do this work, and if there is any significant findings in this particular aspect, then we directly communicate this significant matter with the principal auditor. If for example, if the principal auditor says us that you should check internal control on behalf of me, or if any information about the internal control, then you please communicate to me, so and communicate to me till this time period. So we adhere this timetable, also, and if any significant findings, then we communicate to the principal auditor. Okay, and if any significant finding, we respond as a component auditor. It's our duty. We should respond the questionnaire, any request, any written summary which is requested by the principal auditor. Then, as a component auditor, we should write this summary. We should write this checklist. We should answer this questionnaire. It's our responsibility as a component auditor. Okay. So this all about the coordination of the branch auditor and principal auditor. Then documentation here about the principal auditor. As a principal auditor, what we document, we can document the name of the subsidiaries, name of the components, significant components here, name of the auditor of the component. If any component auditor give the modified opinion, then what additional procedure we apply here, what general procedures we apply here, this all should be documented. Okay, this is very simple. Finally, conclusion. As an auditor, we conclude that there in 600 there is no any matter which says that you write a other matter para, but 706 it says that you can write the other matter para. So in other matter para, we write the division of responsibility. That means uh, to that extent of liability or asset, or we can say financial information, we use the work of any other auditor. That means we are not apply all procedures, all audit procedure, we are not get the sufficient appropriate audit evidence about this particular percentage of liability, assets, or percentage of the financial information. We use directly the other auditor's work. Okay, so you can write it as per 706 other matter para, and you write the division of the responsibilities in this para. Okay, but one more aspect here. If as in principal auditor, we are not satisfied with the work of the component auditor, here we are not say that the component auditor report is modified, we only says that we are not satisfied with the work of the component auditor, and we apply the additional procedure, but also we are unable to obtain the sufficient appropriate evidence in this regards, and this component is as much significant as it affect our financial statement. So because of the limitation of the scope, we are unable to provide any opinion on the financial statement. You understand now? One more thing uh, I ask here, that one thing is that if the report of the component auditor is modified, it is necessary that as a principal auditor we modified our opinion? No, because some information can be material at the branch level, at the component level, but it may not be material at the financial statement level of our whole entity at head office level. So it is not necessary that if the other auditor give modified opinion, then as principal auditor we also give the modified opinion. It's not necessary. Okay, but if we are not satisfied with the work of the other auditor and this matter is significant, this affect our financial statement level, we apply additional procedure, but we are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. So it is the limitation on scope, so we give the disclaimer of opinion as per 705. Okay, this all about 600. We take a quick revision. 600, using the work of the another auditor, principal auditor. In this context, no any international standard on auditing. Okay, so there is the using the work of the another auditor. There is principal auditor and component auditor. Principal auditor who work for entity financial statement, he who provide the opinion on the financial statement of the entity, and component who is the auditor of the branch, subsidiary and other division. Okay, so principal auditor as procedure is competence, should check the competence of the other auditor. If he is not the member of ICI, then should check the competence of the other auditor. Then procedure, then also check what procedures apply by the component auditor. What procedures apply by the component auditor. Also take a questionnaire, what significant matters and what procedures and those procedures how apply by the component auditor. So here should fill a questionnaire by the component auditor and visit the branch or visit the component. Here is the, here is not obligation, this is the power of the principal auditor, that he can visit the component, he can check some books of accounts. Okay, he can observe the results of this checking. Then significant findings, if there is any significant findings which is communicated to principal auditor by the component auditor, then he should supplement test check. Who here? Principal auditor do the supplement test check and observe the results of the supplement test check. Then coordination between the principal auditor and component auditor. Component auditor should know in the context in which his work is used by the principal auditor, so that he adheres the timetable, he bringing the attention on the significant findings, he communicates significant findings to principal auditor, he responds questionnaire and he comply with the statutory requirement. For example, if there is a company, then Companies Act, Income Tax Act is applicable, standard on auditing, he should comply all the statutory requirement. Who here? Component auditor should comply. Okay, then documentation by the principal auditor. Principal auditor should document the name of the component, significance of the components, who is the auditor, name of the auditor of the component, procedure applied by the principal auditor. If component auditor report is modified, then what additional procedure applied by the principal auditor, this all should be documented. Then finally conclusion. On conclusion, division of the work in OM para as per 706 in other matter para, the auditor of principal auditor should write to that extent of financial information we are not, we are use the work of the other auditor. Okay, and then finally if he is not satisfied with the work of the other auditor, then and also unable to apply the additional procedure, then he disclaim the opinion, because disclaimer of opinion because of the limitation on scope. Okay, and also one point here, if modified opinion given by the component auditor, it is not necessary that modified opinion also given by the principal auditor, because at component level some matter significant, but at financial statement level of entity as a whole, that matter cannot be significant. Okay, so finally we take all points. Thank you very much.